The next thing I want you to do doesn't actually have a template. Let us create a box using the rectangle tool, and I'm going to click, and I think I did this at 15 wide by 50. I think that's what I did. Nope, I did something else, but that is okay. I think I've scaled this up since. I want that to be a stroke, so I'm going to flip that to be over here. This is going to be essentially the edge of a finger joint. One is going to be on the left-hand side, one is going to be on the right, and they are going to join together at the edge like fingers do. That's going to be the edge of our box. Once I've got this, and I know that I've got the thickness of my material, let's say it's 3 millimeters, I want to create a hole here that is 3 millimeters so that when this section over here goes in, it's actually going to fit that particular area and it's going to be the thickness of my material. What I'm going to do is click on the rectangle tool again. I'm going to click once, and this time I'm going to say I want it to be the width of 3. That's the thickness of my material. And I want my height to be, let's just say 10 for this example. I'm going to click OK. Here I'm going to introduce you to how we can align things better. I can select both of those, and from my properties palette, I have got my align section over here, and I'm going to say vertically align to the top. What this is going to do is pull this to the highest point over here. Now with it at the top, I'm going to click and hold the edge and move this, holding shift, and move it here until it touches. Now, I don't actually know that this is touching fully. So what I'm going to do is undo this and make sure I've got something called Smart Guides turned on. I'm going to go to the View menu and turn on Smart Guides. I'll zoom in for good measure, deselect, hover over this area here until I've got a little arrow that shows me that I'm on the anchor by having that little square next to my arrow. I'm going to click and drag it, holding shift as well. And then now when I hit this over here, you can see that I've got a magenta or pinky purpley colored line, and it now says intersect. What that means is it has now touch this area over here. In light of working smarter and not harder, I want to make sure that everything is going to go down on this line and it's going to be precise. I want to make sure that the space between here is exactly 10. With that selected, I could press enter. I don't want it to shift anywhere in the horizontal plane, but I do want it to shift 10 millimeters down. I can then say copy. Then I can go to my transform and transform again. I'm going to select all of this because I want to create the reverse of this with my fingers. So I'm going to right click on here with everything selected, transform. I'm going to reflect, and it gives me a preview. It's actually already flipped it vertically, so you can see that I've now have my fingers on the left hand side as opposed to me flipping it in another plane. And this time I'm going to say copy. I can move this out of the way by moving it here, holding shift to make sure it's all in alignment. And now I have got my fingers on one side and my fingers on the other side. The ones that I want to delete though are these ones. I don't want that one or that one. And then I don't want that one or that one or that one. Now to join it all together, I select it, and now I'm going to go to my shape builder. And now I can join this section together, and it's now one piece. Now, before I go and join these together, I actually need to modify this. Again, this is going to be cut out on a laser cutter, and a laser cutter has a diameter for the laser beam. And so while it may have cut out a perfectly 3 millimeter section over here by 10 millimeter, the thickness of the diameter of the laser will have actually burnt away some of that edge over here. So if I do exactly the same here, the corresponding thing, and have a 3 millimeter by 10 millimeter little bit that goes into this groove, it's actually not going to fit because the laser will also have burnt off a little bit there. So what I do is I select this and I increase the height. I increase it to say 10.3, and that's all the diameter may be. Depending on the laser cutter that you're using will determine what you need to change in this instance. Then I'm going to select it all. I'm going to go back to my shape builder, and this time I can join it.